I think the case for owning digital media is just becoming worse and worse. Recently, we had this story and that Sony, they were deleting a lot of movies from their PlayStation store. So if you had bought a movie on PlayStation and it was from some distribution company here, Studio Canal, so they deleted a lot of their titles. Even though you bought the title, they would remove it from your PlayStation. And here it says, so their customers will lose the ability to stream titles, including, and we have like Rambo 3, Terminator 2, and different titles. So yeah, that kind of proves it and that you don't own it even though you buy it. It's just some temporary license. So it's kind of deceiving that you go into the store and click on buy button, but you're not actually buying, you're just renting it for some time, and then eventually they might delete it. And also with the digital media here we have it PlayStation 3 and PS Vita. So apparently Sony, and it's on their blog that they're closing down the online stores. So yeah, with PlayStation 3, you will not be able to buy new content, so that will not be possible anymore. But they say to ease the transition, players will still be able to download previously purchased content after the closing date for a foreseeable future. But who knows for how long that will be. It's not that encouraging maybe that you buy something online on PS3 and then you know that it has a shelf life, and after that it will get deleted or so. But like they say, for the foreseeable future, so at some point they kind of like admit that it will you will not be able to download it anymore. So, and that kind of goes hand in hand with this so Sony on their blog, physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. So you will only be able to download the digital games and not be able to buy any disc-based games anymore. So yeah, kind of like that wipes out the whole second-hand market, and you will not be able to like lend a game to somebody else if they don't have some digital feature for that. But at least when you have had it on the disc, you could play a game offline and always share it, or you had much more freedom and to resell or things like that. But now with everything become digital, so as we saw with PlayStation 3, and for how long will the PlayStation 5 store be around? And something you bought now, will it? For how long will you have it? And with the DRM protection, how will you even play it in the future? And it's a bit funny. So the PlayStation, they removed the disc player, and you think, maybe I can play Xbox instead. And they still have a disc, but they just the other day had an outage, and for some reason you couldn't play your own disc games. So an extended Xbox outage that began Sunday evening hasn't just caused issues for trying to play digital games. It blocked people from playing their disc-based games too. So you start to wonder what kind of DRM protection or what is there that prevents you from playing your disc-based game when their online service goes offline. So it's kind of telling as well. So even if you have an Xbox and you believe that I will always have my game on disc, but when they turn off the switch for their online service, maybe the disc will not run anymore. And in this blog post they write, I got an analog pocket a couple of years ago. So that's a device here we can look at. So that's somebody who made a new version of the Game Boy. So it has much better specifications than a Game Boy. And what's cool with it, I think, is that it runs with the original cartridge. So you can... and they also have adapters for other systems that are not in Game Boy. Here we can see the price for it, $240, out of stock though. And what I like with this console is that it's not an emulator, so they don't have any way to put cracked ROMs on here. So it only plays actual cartridges. So you would need to buy them. But I really like that it's preserving if you buy a game from this era, you wouldn't be able to play it forever. So on an original Game Boy or on this newer device, so if you have that game and have bought it, then you actually own it and would be able to play it forever. So that kind of proves it with these owner games that you actually own them. And there are a lot of retro consoles that you can buy. And I also want to give a shout out to GOG. So here you are able to buy DRM free games. So once you buy a game, then you can freely download it and keep that exe and that installer and save it for yourself on your own hard drive and install it wherever you want. And You don't need to rely on some internet connection, and you can freely do whatever you want with it. And it feels like a lot of people are like going in this direction now that they're kind of tired of digital media and with streaming services and content being removed, and you cannot rely on it, and the streaming services are just drowning in AI generated slop, and it feels like there's quite a lot of people who want to go back and own their own media, and they know what they like and want to continue to have it for the future. So you see it in music as well, Spotify is just flooded with AI crap, but many people, they move back to CDs and iPods and cassette players and vinyl players, and even new artists are releasing on vinyl. So it's quite cool now that there is this movement to go back to how it was before. And it will be interesting to see this with Sony and Xbox for how long they will remain. It feels kind of like a death sentence, what they're doing. Especially with PlayStation, when they're removing content, removing discs, removing the store from older consoles. Who is gonna buy these when you're just getting abused from all sides there? So why not just buy a PC, and then they don't have any advantage anymore. So even though game purchases for a long time have been digital on a PC, but at least you have other stores like in GOG, but on a console, then you're limited to just one provider. So yeah, then you just get one price, and you cannot find any competitors. So of course it's going to be a bad deal for you. I really hope that people are waking up, and I don't think PlayStation and Xbox will be around for that much longer with this continued development. But please share in the comments what you think, and we will see each other another time. Bye bye.